Hello. Hi, everyone. Um, I'm late. I've done a maths, haven't I? I'm a little bit late. What do I look like? Can you hear me and does it look okay? Um, I get that it's always a little bit different on everyone's screens, isn't it? But I think if we're sort of in the ballpark of okay, then we're okay. Hazel, hello. Shannon, um, Nicola, hello, hello. Hazel, I've already said, but I just thought I'd say it again. Betty, hi. Karen, Stacey, hello. Maggie Fielding, um, Laura, Nana Kim. I feel like I'm buffering at the minute, sorry. Nana Kim, hello. Margaret Tennyson, hello. Clarice, Terry, hello, hello, everyone. I'm very excited for this one because I get to have a bit of a play, which is my most obviously favourite bit of. There you go. Look, that's as good as it gets. A quick wave from Ben. Oh, look at my freckles. It really picks them up, doesn't it? Tracy K, hello. Ben's just bang crash booming just at the other side of the kitchen. Yeah, so I haven't got a project finished. We're going to make it from scratch here and now. But someone asked the other day about the tea caddy that I made a little while ago. I made it on Crafters TV a couple of years ago. And someone asked me if I could do that again, so I will do that again for you today. So no pre-made project because I have been so busy today. It's just I've been sort of meeting myself, going out, coming back in, or however you say that lovely saying. Been meeting myself on my way out as I'm coming back in. I don't know. There's a very much more articulate way to say that, isn't there? But you know it's me, so we don't expect that. Emma, hi. Thank you for joining. Terry Anderson, hello. Kathy Garden, hi. First time catching you live. Oh, brilliant. My projects are always a lot better than my ability to speak English, so don't let that put you off, Kathy. So yes, so busy, obviously with orders. But I will just quickly say thank you everyone who's ordered through birthday week, who has just watched, liked and shared through birthday week. Cynthia Dwyer, hi Michelle, my first live as well. Oh, brilliant. I'm going to use these ones. So these are my Canvas Whispers. I've remembered what it's called today. So I'm going to use these because I think they'll work really nice on a tea caddy. I'm going to do mine in white because it's always easier for you guys to pick up my score lines and things like that. But I must admit, if I was going to make it, I mean, some of these, I would probably use maybe a bit of a turquoise or a peachy pink, or what always looks really nice is if you make 3 of them and then you pop them in like a little tray with some feet. That looks awesome. So if you are giving them as a gift, and then they've obviously got a little tray. So if you are giving them as a gift, and obviously someone's having them in the kitchen and you make a little tray, what's always brilliant is, so if you were making a little tray, it's just literally a box lid upside down, isn't it, for them to sit into. If you do go down that route, pop some metal feet on the bottom. It just lifts them up a little bit because it's a card and it's in a kitchen. It just saves if anything gets spilled or splashed a little bit. If it's on some metal feet, it's not going to affect your tea caddies at all. So that's always a nice thing to pop them into as well. I think actually after I do this one today, what I will do is I'll create 3 and then I will show you just with a step-by-step picture tutorial just how to make the base, which is it's going to be like 3 pictures, and it's going to be so simple to put together. for you to obviously create 3. If I've got enough time on this one, I'll do it very quickly for you, just to show you and give you the sizings. Putting an order together for your lovely papers. Oh, brilliant. There's been loads. So all of my papers are now posted on my Facebook page. So you can go back and have a look through all the albums and have a real good look at them. I loved watching you on CC. I have emailed and left a message on a previous video. I will have a look. Or have you emailed me, Kathy? I'll have a look for that as well. My 7-year-old great niece is in town for 6 weeks. I am already exhausted. I'm exhausted for you, Shannon. I really am. Don't forget to hit like and share if you can. Thank you. I will very, very much greatly appreciate that, Shannon. I'm busy multitasking while watching. I'm editing photos of the memory book made with the original Victorian garden collection. Oh, I will definitely love having a look at that, and I'm sure everyone else will as well. So maybe we'll just get on with it. I have picked my Canvas Whispers. I've just picked a few of the pages, just randomly, just some of my favourite ones. Not sure which one I'm going to use yet. It might be that one. It might be that one. You know what I'm like at trying to pick papers. It's impossible for me to do. Hi Gaz, and welcome. Was you on the other day when I explained about how I missed your live? It was Ben's fault. I'm blaming Ben. Hello, Matt. Right, so I have got, this is a very rough, you can see that's as good as it got today. So it's a very rough sort of template that I've very quickly put together. So I've measured out so it's for the tea caddies. So the speciality teas we get here, and I haven't got none. Ben forgot to pick me some up from the supermarket, but it doesn't matter because I still had my measurements wrote down. They come in those little paper envelopes, don't they? And the size, what works perfectly for those here is sort of 3 inches that way by about 2.5 inches that way. So this is going to fit those absolutely beautifully. And I've made sure that the measurements work perfectly from a 12 by 12 piece of card. If you've got some that are a little bit bigger, then you're going up into an A3 piece of card, or you're using 2 pieces of card and gluing them together. Right, so what we're going to do first is I've got my piece of 12 by 12 card, and then to create the base. Oh, Betty, hello. Did I miss you? I'm not sure. I forgot already. My memory is shocking. So this is my 12 by 12 piece of card, and I'm going to cut one side down to 9 inches. I'm just going to put that up there. And then that's it for that piece. I'm going to bring in my scoreboard. And what we're going to do is on the long side, so having the long side across the top, turn it over. We are going to score at 3 1/8. So 3 1/8. We're going to score all the way down. And then we're going to score at 5 7/8. Now it's really, really easy. I don't know which scoreboard you've got. If you've got a hunky-dory one like I have, if you've got your CC one still, these do all go into those 1/8. So there is a notch for that 1/8. So we've got 3 1/8. We've got 5 7/8. So reinforce that one. And then we're going to go to 9 inches. And then that last score line is going to be 11 6/8, so 11 3/4. And what that gives me is a tab right on the edge. So then we're going to turn it round, and on the short side, so we've got the short side at the top, we're going to score at 2 inches. And then we're going to score at 8 inches. And that is it. So 2 and then 8. And then that's sort of it for now. So you can just sort of see them, can't you? Right, so you've got that inch there, which is going to be the top that's going to be folded over. And then what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to sort of score. Couldn't get that word out for love nor money then. Just pop that away a minute. Just all those score lines. So I have got, with my tab on this side and that 2 inch at the bottom, what we're going to do on one of these wider pieces. So this is 3 1/8 and this is 3 1/8. And then these two side panels here are 2 3/4 of an inch wide. So when I stand it up, it is longer at once, obviously at the front and back, and then the sides are shorter just a little bit, but it fits that that speciality tea bag absolutely perfect. So then what we're going to do on the front piece, so one of the wider pieces, and I'm going to use this one. And the reason that I'm going to use this wider one is, well, the reason that I'm going to use this particular one rather than this one is because I've got that tab there, and I want one of those wider sides to be my front. I don't want the seam where it meets and it glues to be at the front. I want that to be at the back. So you've got the nice edges at the front, because what we need to do is we need to cut a little piece out of here. So these 2 pieces here, we're going to cut, I mean, obviously on all of them, we need to cut up, but this particular one, we're going to cut up. And then we also need to go a little bit further up because we need to create that hole for our tea bags to come out of. So I'm going to bring in my scoreboard again, and then I'm going to fold that there. This is my 2 inch score line. And it depends, and it's entirely up to you how deep you want that hole to be at the bottom of your dispenser for your tea bags to come out. I roughly do it between 1/2 inch and 3/4 of an inch. So with your tab on this side, on the right hand side, fold that second score line underneath, pop it back on here. So with this this second score line is going to butt right up to here. That's my 2 inch at the bottom. So about 2.5 to 2 3/4. It's entirely up to you. I'm just going to pop a little notch, a little nubbin, and then we're going to open it back out. And then I'm going to come to it here. And because I know where I'm going, because I can see my little notch, I can then just between that second and that third score line, add a little score line. So if I try to, you'll see it as soon as I cut it, you'll see exactly what it is and where I'm going. So this is going to be my base. So as always with the base of a box, from the side where I've got my tab, we're going to take that bottom bit away straight away because we don't need that piece at all. So we're going to take that away. And then from the bottom up to that score line, we're just going to, on all 3 of those, we're just going to snip up to that score line. So exactly like any old box base. So on that one as well. the shadow of my scissors on my card is just blocking my view. So there we go. So we've got those three slots at the bottom. So what we would do if we was just making a normal box is we'd bring that together and all your pieces just fold in. So if we were making a box or a bottle bag or anything, that is what we would be sort of at right now. So I'm going to open it back up, and remember, I've got an extra score line here. So we're going to extend this cut up to that score line there, and we just fold that up and there. So you can see that that one goes further up. And then what we want to do is where that first score line is, we want to get rid of that. So there we go. So that is what you're going to have at the minute. Now this piece here, let me just turn it over. We're going to fold that underneath and we're going to glue it off. And then what that gives you is where your hole is, where your tea bags are going to come out. You've got a lovely, nice, sort of strong fold or piece there. Because you're going to be going in and out for your tea bags, it's better to reinforce that piece by folding it up rather than cutting it away. It makes it a little bit stronger. And then the only other thing that we need to do is I'm going to turn it round. You know, we've got that 1 inch score line at the top. So I'm just going to fold and burnish that. And then the same here again. So we've got that tab. We're going to take it away from the edge there. And then we're just going to cut straight down to that first score line. And then what that also means is we can fold all of those over. And then it's going to reinforce the top as well, make it that little bit stronger. Because again, you're going to be refilling this with tea bags. So you've got a nice reinforced top there, and you've got a lovely reinforced piece there. Right, so all I want to do now is I just want to trim these up a little bit. So I'm going to take the smallest slither of you can see how small it is, of a wedge away, just because obviously we're going to fold this up into a box. It just means that they fold over nice and clean, and don't sort of butt up into each other and look ugly. So, and then that one. So if I place it back down again for you, you can see I've just taken sort of little wedges away. And then obviously again, when it comes to folding the box up, and these are all folded, they're going to sit nice and clean in the corner together by just taking that little slither away. So this is what you are going to have at the minute, and that is it. All we need to do now is we need to either mat and layer it. If you are not mat and layering and you want it to ink or anything like that, you absolutely can do. But for now, that is sort of it. That is, we're going to create obviously a lid in a minute. What did we wonder? I've just seen Maggie say, I wondered that too, Terry. What did we wonder? Michelle, do you think you will venture into creating dies and stamps? Maybe not. That's it. Maybe, maybe not. It has been something that I've thought about, definitely. But as we stand at the minute, we're just not in a position to be able to do that. But a little bit further down the line, as we get a little bit bigger, and we've got, just a little bit bigger, we're going to get the website up and running. And then once that's up and running, and we've obviously got a further reach, and we're a little bit bigger than we are at the minute, because we're still very much a small company, then yes, definitely, it is definitely something that I would love to do, and love to sort of, and stencils and stamps, definitely. Dies, I think so, but I don't want to bring you the same generic, or not even generic, but I don't want to bring you the stuff that you can go to any other company and get. So there's lots of companies out there that do loads of nesting dies. If I were going to do some nesting dies, they would definitely be a little bit different, not just your normal basic shapes and things like that. So if I did it, I'd like to be able to bring you something that you couldn't go to CC and Hunky Dory, and this one and that one and that one and get. You'd only be able to get that sort of thing from me. But yes, looking into it, definitely something that's on our radar. Laurie, you're late. I'll let you off because you've just said, all my launches are incredible. Looking forward to my order. I need to do my PayPal today. Yes, lots of orders. Like I was saying, I have been absolutely run off my feet. Not complaining though at all. Right, so mats and layers. Let's have a look. Where is my paper? So my box, let me just double check. Oh, I've got the wrong side up. I work in inches. I find it so hard to work in centimetres. So my box is 6 inches high. So we need to trim a piece of this down. Oh, let's do a pattern. Let's do a mat and layer. So I've got some lovely pearlescent paper here. I've got like a salmon colour, cream. I've got that gorgeous. It's red. It's a more burgundy red than my camera's showing you. I've got lovely navy blue, and then that's a black. But you can see that they're pearlescent. So let's decide on which one. I think. Oh, decisions. I think I want to go with this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, so I always have a bit of a play about, I bring this in and I sort of have a look at the mat and layer. Do I like it? Do I not? I'm going to bring this one in, and then this is a slightly different colour as well. I always do this. I don't just go straight for the colour and just put it off. Actually, I think that blue might be nice. I think I like that one. So it's like a bit of a navy blue. So pop that to the side, and it's a paperweight, this one. So I've not used these much. So 6 inches is in it, my box. So we're going to cut these to 5 and 3/4 high. And then I'm just looking for my measurements. Look at me writing my measurements down so I don't get anything wrong. So remember, 2 of my sides are 3 1/8 of an inch wide. So this means I need to cut 2 down to 2 7/8. So I'm going to bring this in. I'm going to pop it on. I'm going to make sure I'm happy with it, which I am, and then I'll carry on. So 2 7/8. And that one's going to go there, but we need to trim that one down in a minute. And then these 2 sides are 2 3/4 of an inch. So then we're going to go down to 2 5/8. 2 and let me bring that down to 2.5. Because that might sit, that's going to sit exactly the same. So let's bring this down to 2.5. There we go. So obviously this one needs trimming. So we're going to take that 1/2 inch off and pop it on. I'm going to take another slither off. Just want it a little bit less. And there you go. So that's perfect. So now I can bring in my paper and decide which bit I want to cut away. Your lunch. I read that, didn't I? Terry, thank you, Michelle. Your construction projects are always so fantastic. Maybe project dies that construct something. Absolutely. I do love construction dies, and I definitely, that is something that I've been thinking about. But there's a lot of construction dies out there that do think they complicate the job of making construction, because you run the die through and it gives you just maybe a panel and a tab which you can actually cut out yourself a lot easier and a lot quicker. So again, I think that's a fine line between finding something fabulous, like Tonic have got amazing stuff, haven't they? So what did we say this was height wise? So 5 3/4. So I'm going to go down just 1/8 of an inch now. So I'm going to go down to 5 5/8. And I've got that sort of sense of it now. Right, so I want my pattern to follow on around my box. So I'm just going to turn it around that way for now. So we're going to cut a wider piece, a narrow piece, a wider piece and a narrow piece, if that makes sense. So how wide did we say those are? So that is, and just look at my measurements just to double check, because I don't want to say out the wrong one. So 3 1/8, we went down to 3 7/8, didn't we? Let me just double check that, because it doesn't look right. Yes, 3 7/8. So this one is going to go down to 3 3/4. And I've got that thinner border. So I've got the 1/4 of an inch between the white and the blue, and then 1/8 of an inch between the blue and the patterned. So that is 2.5. So we're going to go down to 2 3/8. I'm going to pop that on. And it's perfect. So again, we'll have to keep measuring, because it instantly goes out of my brain. 3 3/4. Let me bring that one back in. And then that one is 2 3/8, isn't it? So I know I've got everything upside down, but my pattern's following on perfectly. So I cut did I cut 1/2 an inch off that one? And then, which means I cut 1/2 an inch, didn't I? And then that tiny little slither, which I'm going to do the same again. And then it fits absolutely perfectly. So let's move this out. And I'm going to bring this in for you, because I got Ben to write them out. Perhaps construction manuals, books to help us make our own. Yeah, we've had so many ideas about what we want to do and where we want to go. I don't want to just bring stuff to you that you can be doing on your own like this. So I would never bring a Tea Caddy die to you, because it's really quite simple to do it yourself, but then you've got beginners, which would probably be brilliant for those. So, what do you do? Where do you go? There's so many decisions to make. But these are the sizes that I'm just doing here now. So you can either take a screenshot, come back and have a look at it, but I'll post it on my page as well so you can see those sizes. So I'm going to turn this back round because this is my base and that's going to be my lid. And we're just going to glue these together now. So just mats and layers. I need to, yeah. And the bonus of using that pearlescent paper that I've got is that it's only 120 GSM. So if you wanted to, or if you are posting it, it doesn't add too much weight on there at all. But again, if you were making it for a gift, then using that matte layer as a thicker weight obviously adds more weight to your construction piece. And then that's always a bonus as well. So can you see how that blue really just make that paper pop? And you wouldn't necessarily think that the sort of navy blue, can you see the pearlescent on it, look? Would work, but it does. Any of them colours that are in that paper, you can absolutely use as a matte layer. There's so many choices in there for you to pick out. Any of them will work. What weight is the base? It's a 300 GSM. If I'm doing anything like this, I will always use 300 or more. Lynn, you're late. You didn't get a notification. It happens. I will let you off. It does it to me, which is why I missed Gaz's live the other night. Because I went over to YouTube, to have a look for it, and I couldn't find it. So I thought to myself, oh, it must be tomorrow. I must have got the days wrong. And then after his live had finished, I got an email notification saying Gaz has gone live. So I went over to have a look, and he had gone live, but I'd missed it. So it notified me afterwards rather than before, which drives me mad. So yeah, so I will absolutely let you off for that one. So making sure that I'm lining them all up at the top. Now, I must admit, normally when I'm doing this, I'll have it that way so I can see it, because sometimes if you go off on an angle just a little bit, it means that you end up further up at the top at the end than when you did here. So, last one to pop on. And just give that a lovely good burnish. And I must admit, I cut all those out with the intention of my pattern following round. And it hasn't. Because that one should have been there, but it really doesn't matter, because once your box is up, all sides are just going to look beautiful anyway. But sometimes, well, I love to have that follow around pattern. Right, we're going to turn it over because we're going to glue this up, and we're also going to glue these 4 pieces down before we close the box round. There we go. I wish I could find that weight in store here. I think the biggest is 200 GSM. Is it really? no CCs as much as, yeah, a CC, their card stock is, I know their A4 is a 300 GSM, isn't it? I don't know what their 12 by 12 is. So I'm just using my bone folder to help me stick all these down. I do find if I do anything construction-y with a 200 GSM, I know you can mat and layer up. So you can mat and layer these pieces up, but it's still these edge bits that are 200 GSM, and it just doesn't quite work for me. So I always say, if you are doing, let me just bring that down, any kind of construction, if you can get a higher, then absolutely do it. I would have no clue where to suggest in the US for you to get a 300 GSM from. Sorry. Like I say, I don't know if CCs. Just needed to cut a wedge out of those. So when that folds up, those are going to come up nice and unobstructed. I mean, I can have a look into it. If I can find anything, I'll post it on my page. Right, so we're going to bring that over. So I've got my tab here. I'm going to pop some glue on it, and then we can bring that one over. So if you want to use red liner on this bit, so you've got that instant grab. And again, you've got that added security that you've got sort of red liner on there. It's not going anywhere, is it? Are you selling the shimmer paper you're using? Did I miss that? It actually, I got some in this week in the, well, I was going to have a play about with it, see how it was, how it worked, how it folded, things like that. And then I think, yes, I'm going to offer it for sale because it's only 120 GSM. And again, especially with you guys in the US, it means there's less weight on your card, doesn't it? Just giving that a good burnish. Lynn's been busy with the job. I know it's rude that we have to go to day jobs, isn't it? I haven't been able to even do that. I do still love and support you, Michelle. Lynn, I love you too. So do not worry about that at all. Right, so all I need to do now is to have a think about when you fold these in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fold that one up first and then those two. Or do you want to fold those two and then have that one at the bottom? Because then what you've got is you've got sort of a smooth base and it's not going to obstruct your tea bags. And I know that they're only tea bags, but you know, it really, or what you could do actually is once you've folded all these pieces in, you could get another piece of card. Did you see that just come to me then? You could get another piece of card. I'm not going to do it, so I don't think you need to with tea bags. That is obviously the depth. We're going to pop a little tab on it, and then what we could do is have it inside on the slightest bit of an angle. So the only bit that you need to glue is that bit to here. And then if this piece obviously was the correct weight, depth, then you've got just that little bit of an angle. So when one comes down, it's easier for you to pull it out. So you could sort of pop that in there, have it on an angle. And then what it does, it doesn't matter how you fold those tabs in because they're hidden anyway. And you wouldn't need it on a great big angle because they're tea bags. And they're going to just sort of fall down lovely anyway. So let's just trim those because they're just hanging over a little bit. And then that one as well. It's open. Right, so hot glue on that tab and bring that over. And I'm just going to stand that up a minute and adjust those a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the grid on here to make sure that those tabs are gluing it straight, because you can glue them off just a little bit and you don't necessarily notice until you've done. But I can follow my grid lines to make sure that these are all proper right angles, exactly where they need to be. And then, so that is sort of the base. Now, what I always do is, so you know how we've folded that back to make that nice and clean looking, but then it also reinforces it. This bit doesn't look very clean or nice at all. So I'm going to do exactly the same with some pattern paper. So we know that is 3 1/8, so I don't need to cut it that wide. So let's get a sliver of paper and I'm going to cut it down to 3 inches. So I want to make sure that it sits inside. So that's going to sit in there lovely. I don't need to measure this at all because we're going to glue it on the inside and then we're going to fold it over to the base. And then that gives us a lovely, nice, clean piece here. So just need to slot that in all the way to the back. And then just gonna, my hand doesn't quite reach in there. So get your ruler or your scissors just to give it a lovely press down. Let that grab. And then what I tend to do is, because I want it to fold down, I'm going to flatten that and it folds it perfectly for me. And now what I can do, turn it round, is either just with my fingers or my bone folder, I can just tuck it under there and bring it up. And what I've got now is a lovely, lovely edge. Everything's covered, everything's looking pretty. It's all looking fabulous. And then that's it. That is your base done. I mean, obviously, you can either make that a little bit longer so it fits to the edge of that as well. Or pop another square just on the bottom, again, to add a little bit of strength to it. But it is only for tea bags, so it should be more than strong enough, just like that and just as it is. Now, you're going to pop something on the front. Again, I'm so unorganised. A die cut, I can't think of the word, a die cut, a sentiment. You could put teas, tea, coffee, sugar. I know that you don't have coffee and sugar in one of these, but if you've got 3 of these next to each other and they've all got a different blend in, so this could be a caramel, so you could pop caramel tea bags, the next one could say something else, and the next one could say something else. So, but those finishing sort of decorative bits are entirely up to you. So then all we need to do is we need to create a lid. So we're going to pop that to the side. And again, it's just really, it's a base and a lid. So it's not. This is my piece of card that I'd cut to size that says main box. And I've totally ignored it. It was right next to me. Did Michelle close down? Did I close down? Oh, Michael's. I was going to say, I haven't closed down. I heard Michael's has bought Joanne's or Joanne's has bought Michael's. That's what I've heard. Right, lid. So lid size. We need a piece of card. And we need the piece of card to be 5 1/4 by 4 7/8. And then we're going to score. Where's my scoreboard? I'm bringing our scoreboard, and I want to score all 4 sides at 1 inch. So let me just, oh yeah, that's right. It just looks small. It looks too small for what it's supposed to be. So again, just the box lid. We're going to sort all those edges. And then trim these. So my original one that I created when I was at CC, I had lots of, I'd made some foamer and flowers on the top, and I had some just really lovely embellishments on there. But then I thought for this one, we get rid of those bits. We'd create the embellishments on the lid a little bit different. So again, what I have done with this lid is I've just made them 1/7, no, 1/8, sorry, 1/8 of an inch wider this way and that way. And then I've got my inch tab on all the sides. So it's just going to fit on there absolutely perfect. I'm going to bring in that same, it's not the same, that same blue. And then we've obviously going to use a piece of this as well. So this is 3 1/4 by 2 7/8. So I'm going to say that over and over to myself so I don't forget it. 3 1/4. So we're going to put that down to 3. Before I go any further, I'm going to pop it on and make sure that I'm happy with it. So 2 7/8 is that. So we are going to go down to 2 3/4. So pop that on. I'm very happy with that. And then this one, we're going to go down a little bit more as well. So what did we say? So I want to make sure that the wider bit is the front. So if you've got a design, make sure you cut it wider that way than the depth. So bring this here. That wide, a little bit wider than that. So I'm going to go to 2 3/4. Why do I keep not judging that right? Let try that again. 3rd time lucky. That's better. So I'm just going down that 1/8 of an inch. More. Let me put that on. Sorry, wrong side. So there we go. So again, I'll pop these up. But I've made my blue the 1/4 of an inch shorter than the white, and then the pattern 1/8 of an inch shorter than the blue. And again, those sort of finishing details are entirely up to you. You might like wider sort of borders popping through, or narrow. You might want 3 or 4 sort of mats and layers on the top. And then again, it's the same for the sides. I'm going to leave mine white because I've got lots of white showing, so it's going to wear. but you could mat and layer those up as well if you wanted to. It is a beautiful blue, this that I'm using, and it's a little bit more navy than it's showing you on there, but the shimmer on this paper is absolutely gorgeous. Right, so pop that there. So before I had lots of foam flowers on the top, but this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in, it's one of my favourite boxes, this. I've got all sorts of metal corners and handles. I've got pots in here. I've got all sorts. I'm going to bring in some of these drawer handles that I've got. And it's just a metal one. I got them off of Amazon. And you can get Amazon, eBay, wherever you want. Just if I'm looking for anything like that, I either search for jewellery box handles or handles for crafting. I did have a different colour, but I think we're going to go for the silver. But I've got all sorts in there. Corners, I've got the feet that would work beautifully on the bottom of the box that we discussed, sort of sitting into. Oh. Now, when you buy these handles, they normally come with teeny tiny little screws. Because obviously they're for jewellery boxes, things like that. A nice navy card is very hard to find. You absolutely could make it bigger for a hot chocolate holder. You could. I've done this size. It fits the tea bags perfectly, but again, it meant that I could get it out of that 12 by 12. Diane, you're really late. Piece of cardboard. If you've got A3, then you could, get it out of that. But also, if you've only got A4, then you just do 2 sides and a tab, and then 2 sides and a tab, which means you can really go to town on size, things like that. Right, let me find my pencil. Yes. Okay, there. So what I'm going to do is, I said they come with screws, but I've got some brads here. So I'm going to pop that in the middle, and I'm just going to pop a little pencil mark there, and one there. And then let's make that a little bit bigger so I can see it well. I have my stamping mat, my spongy stamping mat I normally bring in underneath, because I get my pokey tool and we're going to pop it through. But this is, it should be fine. So just pop it through and make that hole big enough for those brads. And again, on that side. Go. Now, just fiddly bit because they're so tiny. There we go. That through. And then this one on this side. I'm trying to do this, and while I'm trying to keep glancing up at the messages to make sure that I'm not missing anything. There we go. So you'll pop that down, give it a real good press. And then what I've got a lovely little handle for the top instead. So let's just get all these sides glued. Let me just trim those. They're a little bit not straight. I know. You all know what I mean. There we go. So what I will do in the morning, because when I'm done here, it's going to be sort of 8 o'clock-ish, or maybe tonight. I might pop it on tonight. These coloured papers that I've got, I'll pop them on and I'll let you know the prices of because off the top of my head, I do not recall how much there will be. But then if you are wanting some, then you can obviously have a look and let me know. But I've had a play about with those. I'm using this glue because obviously it's alcohol based. It hasn't warped them or anything. And to be honest, actually, let me put some tacky glue on. Let's pop. So for instance, let's pretend we're gluing this to it. I'm going to use tacky glue because obviously it's water-based. Let's pop it on there. And oh, look at that. That fits perfect. And then see how it dries. See if it sort of warps or buckles or anything. So remind me to have a look back at that, because we don't all use the same glue. And if you want to use a water-based glue, and some of the ones that you've got before buckle, then you don't want that, do you? So let's pop that on there, and then that's it. And then it's you've got the lovely, obviously the handle. It's entirely up to you then how you are going to decorate this up. To be honest, you could pop some feet on this if you wanted. If you've got some metal feet, I don't think I'd put any in there. It's in my other box around there. But you can get metal wooden or metal jewellery feet that go around the corners, but then you can get some that just sit underneath as well. And those ones, because you've got obviously that opening there, the ones that just sit underneath would be would look absolutely great. And then all you need to do is decorate it up yourself. But what I was saying earlier, and I'll quickly show you, let me grab another piece of strong card. Oh. You never reach it when you want to be quick, can you? So for instance, if you wanted to make 3 of these, or 2 of them, whatever, but 3 obviously always looks really nice on the side, doesn't it? So we're just going to measure, let me bring in a piece of paper. We're just going to measure how wide this is. So it's just over 3 inches, isn't it? So if we want to pop 3 of those, and this is really as good as it gets. Let me get a pen so you can see better what I'm doing. We want to create a long base for it to sit in. So that is 3 and sort of 1/8, isn't it? So you want a little bit of space in between each, because you don't want your lids to sort of be knocking each other. So if we say we want to be able to fit 3 of these in it, all at 3 1/4. So 3, 6, 9. So that's 9 3/4 wide. But obviously, don't forget we need sides first, and I would do sides of 1 inch. But so remember, this is 2 3/4 wide. So we'll go 3 quarters, or deep, should I say? So we're going to go 3/4 deep. But we want, well, it's entirely up to you. You can have the sides coming up on all 4 sides, or you can have a side and the back and have the front open so they can sit in the base and this is unobstructed. Does that make sense? So we are going to, so again, look, this is how I do it. I add my tab on the side and the back and the front, and we know that they all want to be 1 inch. This is technical drawing, right, at its best, isn't it? So this piece here is 9 3/4, and then we're going to add the inch for both sides. So we know that it needs to be, we'll get rid of that, 11 3/4 wide. And then this way, don't get that, you see, kids don't get taught like this at school. We need 3, and I only want the back, don't I? So that just needs to be 4 inches. So I know I need to cut my card down to 11 3/4 by 4. So the thing is, it doesn't matter how you draw it out, how you come to the conclusion, how you add it up. If you need to do a lovely little scribble just like that, so you can visualize it and see it easier, then do it. I mean, it doesn't matter. You know, you get some people who can be a little bit, what am I doing? 11 3/4, aren't I? They can be a little bit, people laugh at my drawings all the time, but it works. And if it works, then that's all that matters, isn't it? So we've got it at 11 3/4 by 4 inch. We're going to bring in this scoreboard, couldn't think of the word, and I only need to score it at 1 inch on that side, 1 inch on this side, so on your two shorter sides, and then this way we need to score it just at that 1 inch. So let's just give those a good fold and burnish. You made that look very easy, Michelle. Shame my brain doesn't understand. I'm the worst at maths too. I was, do you know what? I was really good at maths at school, and then as soon as I left school, it just all disappeared out of my brain. But which is why I say, if you find just scribbling it down, and again, no one would look at that and know what on earth I'd done, but as I look at it and I write it down, I know exactly what I'm doing and where I'm going. So let's just trim those two back bits. And it's just sort of a semi-box, isn't it? So let's just glue those. It helps if I open it, doesn't it? I mean, Michelle, that's the way I work out measurements for boxes. Scribbled measurements, yeah, absolutely. It just, I'm more of a visual learner, and I'm more of a, yeah, so if I'm learning anything, if I can watch you do it, then, you know, that's how I learn. So when I scribble it down and I can see it in front of me, that's how it sort of sticks in my head, and it really does make sense for me. So I can pop now 3 of these in here. So let me just, or you could, well, yeah, it's going to fit 3 of those in. Absolutely lovely. And I've got a tiny little space in between so my lids don't get knocked. So if I bring it that way, you're going to have 3 of those sat in there. And this is where I was saying you would pop your feet. So obviously we're going to mat and layer in here. We're going to mat and layer up. Again, if you sort of want to make sure that your edge is covered, you can do, you know, where we folded it, pop it over. It gives you a really lovely, nice, clean, crisp edge. And then pop your feet on it, whatever kind of feet that you've got. So what I've got now is a lovely little caddy. Now you can make those sides higher if you want. I just did 1 inch just as I was working it out quickly. I think it doesn't need more than 1 inch, as long as they're sat in there and you've mat and layered this to make it a little bit stronger to sit 3 of those in, then it's going to look great. Pop your feet, your metal feet. If you don't have any metal feet, do you know what I did once? I made a beautiful box and I had a load of wooden Scrabble tiles, and I glued 2 together with hot glue, and I popped them obviously on all 4 corners, and I had some lovely Scrabble tile feet, and what I did was, when you tipped it over, it actually said, it spelled out love, so LOVE from the underneath. So I had the actual words on show from the bottom, because I think it was some sort of Valentine project. So even though they were on your feet, when you actually have a look, it said love on there, which was really quite cute. If you want to make these feel a little bit more secure in here, what would be a nice thing to do is, instead of making these 1 inch high, make them 2 inches high. But so this isn't obstructed, you could pop some ribbon around, but it would sit there. So again, you've not got that obstructed. You could use some elastic. I've got lots of that gorgeous coloured elastic. Bear with me, let's see if I can find a bit. Nope, but I can find all my other ribbon. So not the colour I was going for, but if this was 2 inches high, then you could pop a ribbon around the front or some elastic, and then it's going to hold them in. And again, it's a bit of added decoration, but obviously making it a bit more secure for you. It's entirely up to you. But you can really go to town, even just with the little tray. And to be honest, if you wanted the tray the other way, and you could sit it on, so if you made a full box, you could sit it on that way, and that would look nice as well. So many different options just for like having a little tray on the bottom. Or, and I know it's in the totally wrong sort of paper finish, but this lovely project that Jill made me with my vintage summer kit, you can get lots of these beautiful, because this was just a plain glass sort of tray. And again, I know it's the wrong shape, but you can get some that are more square that would sit those in absolutely perfectly. So you've got so many options for finishing it off. But how quick and easy and simple was that to come together? The only other thing is, in fact, what I will do is I'll make 2 more of these, and I'll finish this off, and I'll pop the finished project on my page with the instructions, the measurements and that, so you can see fully finished. But it's just such a simple box. It really is, just to come together, just with that sort of slit at the front and your tea bags, and so easy to adjust that size, and it really, really is. I've just seen Matt Cox, you make amazing folios. I concur, they're absolutely amazing. Oh, you learned construction from me. Thank you very much, Matt. It's I love construction because it's just so. I love making cards, but I love construction. I actually absolutely love looking at something and thinking, oh, I can make that. And then when you do, so I actually saw a Tea Caddy, and it was in the range or somewhere like that, and I was like, oh, I can make one of them. And that's why I made the first one. I mean, that Tea Caddy that I saw, or the tea dispenser, it was probably about £5-6, and it probably cost me about £20 to make it in Craft Goodies, but it's just so worth it, isn't it? Right, so I will finish that off. I will pop it on so you can see the finished projects. I'll get some tea as well so you can see, because you can get tea sachets and coffee ones as well, can't you? But I did want to show you something else. If I can find it, so bear with me, because I've got so much stuff all around me. I had printed off. Oh, I'm very close to that camera, aren't I? It's because I've got some papers up here. Ah, there they are. I've printed off a couple of my Christmas papers that I wanted to show you. And I know it's Christmas, we're very early, but some people are doing Christmas in June. So my July release is going to be my Christmas ones. Oh, how did it go with that other glue? Thank you. So there we go. Can you see it in the light? If I trim that down to where it would be as a matte and layer piece. So it's bowed a tiny, tiny little bit that you can barely notice. So I could, just by doing that, flatten it out. There's no real buckling. There's a tiny, round the edge, little bit of glue, but I did go a little bit heavy, but it is a 120 GSM, so you're going to see a little bit. Let me there we go. Oh, there you go. So actually, it did really, really well. It hasn't seeped through at all, and it's stuck beautifully. It's nice and flat. So I'm actually really quite happy with that. Yeah, so it didn't go too bad at all, did it? Christmas. Oh, actually, this blue, look at that. How perfect is that going to work together? Let me just, there you go. So I'm doing Christmas in July, obviously, but I've only got one release. I've got craft kits ready for it. So if you are wanting a craft kit to go with your Christmas, again, I'm going to be popping a post up, but this is one of my Christmas collections. So it is quite traditional, but then I've added obviously that edge because he's got the crackle effect, which I love. And you've got it on the back as well, which is absolutely adorable. I'm absolutely loving this collection. I think it's just absolutely gorgeous. So that is going to be one collection. And then the second collection that I've got is the reindeers. Again, you've got, they're quite traditional for me, to be honest. But you've got the reindeer, you've got the poinsettia in her hair. You've got the lights, you've got the lovely little Christmas tree in the background. So this is going to be the second collection. So I'm just going to be bringing you two for July. And then that is another one from that reindeer collection. So you've got, this one's got that beautiful gold background, and some of them are going to have their own little Santa hats on. And then some obviously have just got lovely flowers in their hair. But these are going to be my Christmas collection. So that's coming in July. I think Thursday the 3rd of July for my Christmas collections. Now, I know I said I was going to show, I'm going to do a giveaway today of oh my God, roll on July. Lots of love hearts, thank you. I've got one rainbow craft kit left, and that is going to be the giveaway today. So it's going to, let me show you. I might as well show you if I'm talking about it. So my rainbow craft kit, to finish off my birthday week. So this is the rainbow craft kit. You get that beautiful a Victorian summer night garden in there. You're going to get those 2 A4 pads in here. These are all your embellishments that you're going to be getting in it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop something in from the first collection I released on Monday, the Highland Cows. I'm going to pop something from the background collections in. I'm going to pop something from the vintage summer scrapbooking kit. I'm going to pop a bit of the paper from that in. And then the final one that I did on Thursday, the what you've just been seeing me use today, I'm going to pop one of those paper pads in this as well. And to be honest, I've got a few other bits of ephemera from other kits and stuff that I'm going to pop in this as well. So you're going to get the chance to win that. So everyone who's been commenting today and everyone who's been commenting through the week, don't forget, if you've placed an order, you're going to get a chance to win something either the DT has made or that I got from those lovely people who I sent my paper pad to and who created a project for me. So you're all going to get the chance to win those as well. So even if you haven't bought anything, it doesn't matter. We're going to go through all the comments from the week. I'm going to pop a few of you a message and say, it doesn't matter that you've ordered, you've still won something. And then this is going to be the lovely goodie box that's going to be won today. So I'm going to scroll through the messages in a minute. I'm going to stop on one, and you're going to be the one who's won. Will I just buy it instead, Michelle? Lynn, did I miss a message before that? Apologies. Let me scroll, see if I can find it. Uncanny. Lynn. Hi, Matt. Doesn't it just? Gorgeous. How long do you think it will take, Shan? I don't know. I missed your message. What did you say, Lynn? Sorry. You haven't, Lynn. No, you did say that you would pick. Either pop me a message after this show and let me know what you want, or I'll pop you a message. Right, what was I going to say? Oh, about Jan's tutorial. Did any of you see Jan Brown's, so JB Craft on here? She did. She popped it on yesterday. It's Sunday today, isn't it? She popped it on yesterday. She made that beautiful star album with the Oh Baby collection. Now that is going to be up for grabs. So when she sends me it, I'll send it on to someone, but you need to have commented on my Facebook post for that one to be in with a chance of winning that one. But that one will be drawn either later tonight or tomorrow. And I'm right. So concentrate, Michelle. Just scroll, find a name and stop on it. Karen Stacey. You are the winner of this goodie box. So thank you. Oh my God, I've just scrolled back to the bottom. I watched Jan's project and it was gorgeous. Cynthia, it was beautiful. So Karen, you have won this. So I'm going to pop some, obviously some more bits in it, and then I'll get that sent out to you. Karen, I've got your address, so you don't need to send me that. The Baby Star card book, it was beautiful. Yes, it really was beautiful, Maggie. So yes, so congratulations, Karen. You have won that, but don't forget, there's still chances to win lots of little projects and cards from the DT and from Sandra from Santangle and Jamie Rogers and Gwen and all of those others. But what I'm going to do with those is, as we're packing kits, I'm just going to pop one of those cards in randomly. So I don't feel like I'm specifically picking someone. So as we sort of going down our little line, I'll be packing stuff. I'll be putting a card in. Ben puts the addresses and packs them all up. So it's going to be totally random for me, and it's going to be totally random for you guys as well. I can't believe it. You're very welcome. All the support that you have all given me, not just from a year ago, but through birthday week has been awesome. So just lots of little ways for me to say thank you to you guys as well. I'll get this finished off and posted on my... Oh, shall I do that as the giveaway? As my giveaway, as my project that I'm going to make? I'll create 3 of these. I'll finish this off properly, and then that'll be my projects that I'll do a giveaway on. How does that sound? Congrats on your first birthday, Michelle. Can't wait until new things coming out. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. It has been a fabulously busy week. But yeah, Diane, definitely. Here's to the next year. So I'll get this finished off. I'll get this box finished and filled up. Orders will start trickling out from Monday for the rest of the week. And I say it like that is because some of you placed orders on Monday, and then as we've started printing, and then you've added to your order, and then you've added to your order. So we're trying to get through them as quickly as possible, but it's going to take us all of next week. Some are already done, will be sent out on Monday, and then for the rest of the week, obviously the rest of the orders will get printed off and sent out. But as soon as I send yours out, I'm going to pop you a message and let you know that it's been posted, so you sort of know roughly how long you're having to wait for it. Cynthia Dwyer, I would love to win your project. Oh, thank you. I'm really excited to finish it off, actually. I'm excited to see where I go with it because I've no idea yet. That would be so fun. Please pick from YouTube though. Definitely, absolutely. So I will pick from YouTube because I know lots of you and on Facebook. And because I do my lives here on YouTube, it just feels right, doesn't it, to do it on here anyway. Just reading through your messages. Hope your birthday week has been amazing, Michelle and Ben. Thank you for everything you've done for us. Right back at you, Lynn, because thank you all. Time for a lie down. Thank you all for all the support. It's been absolutely amazing, and I appreciate you all so much. I haven't had birthday cake. I should have done, shouldn't I? I might make Ben go get a birthday cake tomorrow. Right, so thank you everyone so much. Don't forget, I have still got a couple of giveaways. I've got mine, I've got Jan's, and Corinne Robinson on Tuesday. She's going to be popping a card up that she made with one of my paper collections, and that's going to be a giveaway as well. So into the next few days, there's going to be a few more giveaways. So yeah, so still more possibility to win things. There will be a show next Thursday. I have no idea what I'm doing on it. I haven't thought that far away, but before I forget, there's going to be some tutorials coming as well from the design team. So I know Matt said that he's sorted something out. I know Emma said she's going to do some picture tutorials on some of the cards that she's made. Liz said I'm sending her some more bits out. She's going to do something. Helen's going to do an album for me. So you've got lots more of sort of tutorials coming from the DT as well, which is very exciting. Jill said she's going to do something. Jill is the lady who created these. She says she's still got some bits left. So she's going to do some little, either a live or some tutorials, but she's a little bit under the weather at the minute. So that's coming as well. So let me just, on a scrap of paper, write Karen's name so I don't forget that she won the box. We don't want to forget. Karen Stacey, there you go, look. So, yes, the DT were brilliant. I'm going to let you all go. That actually, the more that dries, the less that you can see it through. So I'm quite happy with that. There you go, you can see. The more it dries, the less you can see it. I've already posted the field notebook holder. You have. I saw that today. Thank you very much, Matt. So yes, everyone enjoy either the rest of your day or your evening. I will be doing Love the plates. Would love to see how Jill did them. Yeah, she's I think that's what she's going to do, to be honest. I think she said she's still got some glass plates, but she does it from the back. So you've got that beautiful crackle on. So what she did was she put her rice paper glue on the back, and she used a glitter one. I don't know if you can see the glitter on that one. But here you can really see the glitter. So the rice paper glue, you put your rice paper on, and then she's put this lovely crackle glaze on the back, which there's a few companies do it. Pentart do it, Stamperia do it. It's just a crackle glaze, and you just paint it over, and you can heat dry it. And then she's obviously gone over with some paint as well. Really makes the crackle pop. But where's the so you can get different ones. So if I bring this in, look how different. You can get large crackle glaze, you can get smaller crackle glaze. It's a bit of a tongue twister, and then you can really see it through the front on them. So they're absolutely amazing, those, aren't they? So yes, I mean, obviously that doesn't show you. So Jill definitely said that she will do it, and as soon as she pops something on, I'll be sharing it with everyone. So don't you worry about that. But for now, I'm going to get on with this. I'm going to let you guys get off, and I will still be popping little bits up every day, finishing this, the box, the tutorials, and yes, definitely going live on Thursday. Not sure what I'm going to do yet, but if you have any ideas, message me. Let me know. Because that's how we did this. Someone said I'd love to know how to do that. So if you've got any ideas, definitely let me know. But for now, I'm going to let you all go. Thank you all so much for joining me, not just today, but through the whole of the week, through the whole of the year. And I will definitely see you on Thursday. So thank you very much, and I will see you all soon.